we'll make sure we leave plenty of time to answer everybody's questions here today. And just to let you know, we will be recording this session, and then we will be posting it later on Cook County il.gov/promise, which is where all the application information is. So if you have colleagues or you who are not here, or you want to review it again, it should be uploaded there within a matter of days. All right, so about Cook County, I think most of you are locals, but just to review, Cook County is the second largest county in the country with about 5.3 million people. We have 134 municipalities within that, the largest, of course, being Chicago. And where this program is being run out of is Cook County Government's Bureau of Economic Development, which fosters local economic development and job growth across Cook County. When it comes to the Cook County Guaranteed Income Promise Pilot, we will be providing no strings attached $500 monthly payments to 3,250 Cook County residents over the course of 2 years. We will be serving both residents living in suburban Cook County as well as the city of Chicago. And our goal is to open participant applications this fall, and then have the first payments to participants going out this winter, so by the end of the year. The outreach and in-person application assistance partner or partners will be responsible for conducting outreach, especially to priority and hard to reach communities and areas in Cook County, as well as offering in-person assistance for folks who have difficulty applying on their own. The application itself is going to be online, either on a website or being able to complete it on a computer or a smartphone. But we are wanting to make sure that folks can go somewhere for in-person assistance if they're having trouble applying on their own. So Cook County also, just to let you know, anticipates that the work of the outreach partner will begin in July, and that you will be contracted through the fall 2022 application period. So can't give a definitive month, but it depends on when we open that application period. We're hoping that could be as soon as September. So the outreach partners would be contracted through at least that application period. The overall program goals of the Promise Pilot are first to help our residents recover from the economic impacts of COVID, help them in achieving financial stability and moving towards economic mobility. But we also are hoping that this pilot can improve mental, emotional, and physical health, as other guaranteed income programs have shown to do. We want to understand how guaranteed income impacts not only the participants and their families who receive the income, but also their communities, including local economies. How are small businesses and community organizations impacted when community residents have this kind of support? We want to better understand how this kind of program can help suburban areas, especially with the suburbanization of poverty, and how it may uniquely impact suburban populations that are low and moderate income. And then finally, Cook County has committed to making a permanent guaranteed income program upon the completion of the pilot. And so we are using this pilot to learn and understand the best way to build long-term systems, processes, and technological and programmatic infrastructure to best run a permanent guaranteed income program in the future. So in terms of the role and the actual functions of the outreach and in-person assistance partner or partners, is mainly going to be to conduct, and again, if you are not asking a question, please mute yourself. We will be stopping for questions in just a couple minutes here. To conduct widespread, accessible, and culturally competent digital and in-person outreach, informing especially target communities and hard-to-reach populations about the pilot program, about its eligibility requirements and application details. And of course, the goal is that we want to receive high rates of applicants from the most at need and target communities. The partner will also work with us to finalize what the priority populations and geographic locations should be for us to target. We'll offer accessible in-person application assistance. Our goal is to have at least 7 suburban locations and 5 city locations. Also to work with us and our payment administration partner to work sort of on the ground to see what barriers are popping up and work to troubleshoot them in real time. And then we will be evaluating our outreach process, looking for ways to improve it. And so the outreach and in-person assistance partner will definitely be helping us in terms of tracking and assessing our outreach activities and data to see how we can improve. As of now, our priority communities that we've identified include low-income residents, communities of color, historically distance invested geographies, undocumented residents, non-native English speakers, households with limited internet access, residents who are on or underinsured, formerly incarcerated individuals, and residents who are not currently receiving other social safety net or COVID-19 response financial supports.
And I'll just jump in really quickly, Pete, and add that, while Cook County is kind of aiming to receive a high number of applicants from these priority communities and others as determined with the partner, these are not criteria for participant eligibility.
Yeah, right, exactly. And there may be other communities that the partner thinks that we should be added to this list, and that'll be part of our process of working together. But yes, the simple criteria for being able to apply for this program is that you are a resident of Cook County, you are 18 years of age or older, you meet the income threshold, which is 250% of the federal poverty level, and that you or someone, no one, either yourself or anyone else in your household is participating in another guaranteed income pilot. Can then move on. So on this slide, we have a little bit of further detail on what these services look like. So building an outreach and engagement plan to conduct the digital and in-person outreach, providing informational documents to nonprofits, religious institutions, other public anchor institutions, such as libraries, schools, daycares, food pantries, about this program, letting the folks who use those services and those facilities know that this is happening and that they can apply. When it comes to application assistance, we'll definitely be working closely with the payment administration partner who is going to set up this entire application system. And they'll help train up outreach staff on program eligibility and the application process itself, so that outreach partners are able to help and assist folks trying to apply for the program. When the application window opens, we still want to make sure that the outreach activities are happening, but obviously some of the focus is also going to have to shift to making sure that those in-person application assistance locations are up and running and running well. And then reporting and evaluation beginning prior to beginning the work and the actual outreach activities. The partner will coordinate with us and our evaluation partner on data and metrics. And then right before I pause, I just want to mention a little bit about subcontracting. So we are expecting that most folks will probably come in with a group of proposed partners to cover all of the different geographies and community groups that we're hoping can target. And so our preference is that we get a proposal from a lead agency with subcontracting agencies. However, that is not a requirement. And I think I went through most of this. Definitely the agencies who are subcontracted have to be able to show an ability to be able to implement the tasks that they are going to be responsible. The legal organization must have the capacity and ability to oversee the work and comply with all the administrative requirements that go along with that. And the county reserves the right to reject any subcontractor if it deems it necessary. And I want to pause there. We'll get into the actual application next and the criteria, but I want to pause there for any questions about the pilot or the role of the outreach and in-person application assistance partner.
Hey, Pete, there are a few questions in the chat that I can read out for you if that works.
Okay. Yeah.
We have one from Christy. Do you have plans for trying to connect agencies from across Cook County to contract and subcontract this work, or is it up to the agency to use their existing relationships?
I think it's our preference that if the agency is able to use their existing relationships. However, if we're seeing that is not getting us to where we need, the county can definitely troubleshoot that with maybe trying to build another way, that putting some partners together.
And then in that same line, should any applicant apply with the intention of serving the entire service area, or could an organization apply for just one portion of the service area?
I think that, and Dom, if you're on, please feel free to jump in. My inkling is that if we can, the ideal situation is that there is one partner, main partner organization who has pulled together a number of organizations that are, targeting the different sub areas and subpopulations that they're, that they have the existing relationships with. But Dom, let me have you add anything that you'd like on that question.
Sure. Thanks, Pete. And hi, everyone. Sorry for joining the webinar a little late. But Pete, I think you captured it pretty well. So maybe just more of re-emphasizing it. That, we, for purposes of just kind of handling the overall outreach, I think we like to see a partner or two lead partners coordinating. Yeah, we recognize it's a challenge with the broad geography of the county. But I wouldn't want to dissuade any agency who does great work in their targeted geographic area and doesn't find the right set of partnerships. I wouldn't want to dissuade somebody from coming in and doing good work in their geography.
So partner if possible, but if not, still apply. And if it fits, we'll make it work.
Perfect. And then another question, is this program complete in fall 2022 or will it potentially extend through 2025?
At this point, we see it as ending in fall 2022 because this is really about getting the information out there and helping folks apply. And then the rest of the 2 years is going to be about the folks who end up being selected, going through the program, getting the money, and evaluating it. So I don't expect there to be outreach needs beyond. However, there definitely, I mean, down the line, if and when as we are intending to do a permanent program, there's probably going to be outreach needs then, but that would be a different time and different funding source. And so for now, I would say, this is something that's going to go through the application period in the fall and then end.
We had a question about budget. I can jump in and just say that, the county plans to award up to $200,000 for the duration of this partnership. And then one more question, the difference between the outreach and in-person application assistance partner and the payment administrator partner.
Yeah. So the outreach and application and the in-person assistance, which is one partnership that we're talking about right now, is really about, number one, making sure that we're communicating and reaching out to communities, especially target communities who have been most impacted by COVID and historically divested communities. And then helping when the window opens to make sure that they are able to apply if they're having trouble, and offering in-person assistance in that. The payment administrator is a separate function in that administrator is going to set up essentially the application itself. There's going to be some sort of a website, an application portal. It will be an online system where the folks will then actually go apply. That payment administrator will also, once the application window closes, they'll be assessing to make sure that folks who've applied are actually eligible to apply and have submitted all the documentation that is necessary to qualify. They'll run a lottery because we expect we'll be getting upwards of 200,000 applications for the 3,250 spots. So there'll be a randomized lottery drawing. And then the payment administrator will also onboard the folks once that have been selected and vetted as actually being eligible. Go through their benefits, if they're on any public benefits, to talk about any potential interaction before starting the program. And then they'll actually do the payments. So the monthly $500 payments, they'll disperse them to the participants. So that's what the payment administration partner will be doing.
And to that extent, you'll see on the website, and there'll be more details as we go through, that there are separate overview documents and grant application documents for each of those partners. Okay. And then there was one more budget question, and then for the sake of time, we can move forward. The $2,000 per agency or total award budget for the pilot. That is what the county anticipates as a maximum for the partner or partners conducting outreach and in-person application assistance. But Pete and Dom, I'll let you add any other commentary.
Yeah, at this point, we have $200,000 budgeted for the outreach and in-person application assistance activities total. All right. The application itself and how we'll be evaluating it. So we'll be looking, of course, at existing presence in the communities, relationships in the communities, cultural competency with our priority target communities, and the infrastructure and capacity to do that. The program design, the design of the proposed outreach plan, and the strength of the systems and processes. And then, of course, the organizational capacity. Do you have a clear staffing plan? And then, of course, for the main, if there is a main applicant that is proposing subcontractors, the ability to manage and oversee and monitor the subcontractors, the program expenditures, the reporting requirements. This is being funded through federal ARPA dollars. So the federal reporting, as anybody who's gone through it is pretty extensive. So got to be prepared for that. We also have performance management, so past performance, experience with data-driven performance management and data collection itself. And then there will also be, we'll also be assessing the proposed budget and spending plans. So how to apply. Applications are due Friday, June 10th at 5 p.m. Central Time. You can find all of the documents that you will need at cookcountyil.gov/promise. And there you will find an overview document that'll tell you a lot of the information we went over today about the role. And then you'll also see the actual application itself, which is a Word document download, and the budget template, which you'll also need to submit. The requirements here, you have a completed application, budget form and narrative. We'd like a document with the key personnel who would be doing the proposed work. Your IRS determination letter, assuming that you're a nonprofit, along with your board of directors list. Certificate of good standing is would be very nice to have, but is not a requirement. And then your most recent financial statement or audit. And so how you would actually do this, if you go to cookcountyil.gov/promise, there's a link there to go through the online application, which for the most part, you'll see here is a screen grab of it. You'll enter your contact information, and then the bulk of it will actually be, if you hop to the next slide, file uploads. So the application that you complete is a fillable document. That application will then be uploaded along with a different upload for your budget form and narrative. And the other documents that we went through a couple slides ago, there will be a place to upload each of those documents and submit. And one thing to make sure is that there's no function to upload things and then save but not submit. So make sure that you upload everything and then just submit it, because you're not able to save your work. You have to do it one time. So for the budget template, this is a screen grab of it. It is pretty general at this point. It's for the entire duration of the project, expense breakdown, and then you'll see that this is a tab of a screen grab of tab A, which is the numbers, and then tab B, which is part of the Excel document, is a place where you can put in the budget narrative itself, which just kind of explains in narrative form how you would propose to spend the money. A bit about the timeline here. So today is Wednesday, I'm sorry, today is, we had our initial announcement last week, May 18th. Today is Thursday, the 26th. We're having our info session. Any questions that you have that have not been answered through this session or by the end of the session, feel free to email to guaranteedincome@cookcountyil.gov. We will post a document with all of those questions along with answers by June 3rd. And then again, the deadline to submit an application is June 10th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And so I'll pause there and we can open up for any other questions.
Pete, there's one more
Okay.
in the chat. So will Cook County provide branded marketing materials, or does the agency need to create them?
That is a good question. I think we will have branded materials that have been created ourselves, but in terms of the printing expenses, I don't know. Dom, do you have an inkling of whether that's the actual expenses for printing the materials will be part of in-house here, or the responsibility of the partners?
Yeah, thanks, Pete, and thanks for the question. I think what you said is right on to me. I think the county will have toolkits and templates that can be used, but then kind of printing costs and that sort of thing would fall to the individual agencies.
Great. A few comments about partnership opportunities, but other than that, are there any additional questions?
And feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or raise your hand, or put them in the chat. I can't believe that we're that good that we actually covered everything. All right, we got one. What's the max amount? So we have $200,000 budgeted as the maximum amount for all outreach and in-person assistance activities. So that would be the number for the partner or partners, the total number. No problem. While we're waiting for any other questions, I'll reiterate that the application information is at cookcountyil.gov/promise. And then you can also visit www.engagecookcounty.com/promise, which is our public facing website for the pilot. There's a place there where you can enter your email to get added to our email list. We'll send periodic updates about how progress is going. And obviously, as we get closer to the window where the applications will open, we'll be sending a lot more emails out to folks who are interested in applying to let them know how they can apply.
Peter, my name is Denise. I have a quick question regarding, so as an organization, if I apply and for all the other entities around us, how exactly does that work again?
So I think it's, we're hoping that a main entity will serve as the sort of overall applicant partner, and that will subcontract with other partners to hit all of the communities we're trying to target. However, that's not required. If you are a singular entity who does not have a partnership and cannot find a partnership, we still encourage you to apply and talk about the work that you'd like to do in your targeted communities. And if it's possible or makes the most sense to sort of bring a number of singular applicants together, that's what we'll do.
Thank you.
And then two more in the chat, or a few more in the chat. So what would be some positives that we would like to see for a nonprofit organization helping to coordinate this? So anything beyond that selection criteria that we shared, Pete?
I mean, I think that having existing relationships in the community, knowing the communities, having trust in the communities, and being excited about this pilot and the project itself. We hope it'll be a transformational thing for many people, and will lead to even more progress in terms of helping folks with poverty and income and mobility in general. So we're very excited about it, and we definitely want partners on board who are excited about it too. But definitely, of course, experience and having relationships with the communities, cultural competency, obviously familiarity with the communities that you're looking to talk to is incredibly important. And Dom and Jessica, if you have anything to add to that.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, well said.
And then it looks like there's one more question. So what type of training and technical assistance or support will be provided after an organization is awarded? So maybe talk a little bit more about the process for how we'll collaborate amongst partners, and what kind of management BED and you guys will do.
Yeah, well, I think it sort of depends on the structure, right, of what ends up happening. But specifically with regards to how we're going to train and provide TA for the folks to talk about how to apply. And once the application window is open, helping folks apply. We will have the payment administrator on board, and one of the roles in that scope of work is for the administrator to be working with the county and with the outreach organizations so that they understand the application itself and the eligibility criteria, how to apply, what documents are needed in order to apply. Our hope is that hopefully ahead of time, through the email list that we're creating at the community, at the county, but also working with the organizations, the outreach organizations, that we hope that folks understand well ahead of time the documents that they need to have, and the general process of how they apply online. We want to try and communicate that early and often, so it prevents as much confusion and assistance needs during that window. And that the application window will be a number of weeks long, so it won't just be a couple of days, but still, right, there's going to be a lot of people applying, and so the sooner and the more clearly we can communicate to them how to apply, I think the better.
And Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, but the county is planning to hold, a 2-day guaranteed income planning workshop this summer, which will bring together the partners that have been selected to help administer this program, correct?
Yes, there will be that, but that's slightly different. That's more focusing on the evaluation component, but we definitely are going to get all of the partners together as soon as possible, probably early July, so that we can get started and start those working relationships, because September is going to come pretty soon.
Perfect. Any final questions?
Yeah, sorry, this is Molly with OAI. Will you be sharing out the attendance list at today's meeting?
I think we can.
100%, yeah.
I think that would be helpful because clearly this is going to require a partnership across the region. And so it would be great to see who's interested based on that list.
Yeah,
Great
happy to.
suggestion and happy to do that. Jessica, let's and Dom, let's talk after this because maybe we can send out the slides in the same attachment, whatever. But we'll get an email out later today.
I was just about to ask, were you gonna send the deck out?
Yeah, so we'll make sure, I think it's at 5 o'clock, it might be a little later this evening, but we'll make sure that the slides are uploaded to that Cook County Promise website. It sounds like we can also upload an attendance list as well and send an email reminder.
Yeah, the cookcountyil.gov/promise will have these slides and the recording uploaded there. All right. Final call for questions. And again, if you have any questions that come up, please send them to guaranteedincome@cookcountyil.gov. Our plan again is to receive any questions by May 31st. And then we will upload a document to the cookcountyil.gov/promise with all of those questions as well as answers by Friday, June 3rd at the latest. So yeah, any questions that you have between now and the May 31st, please email them. All right, thank you for your time, and we appreciate your interest, and we look forward to seeing your applications. Anything else from Jessica and Dom?
No, that's great. We'll look to get those attendance lists and slides uploaded, and the questions that were asked during these info sessions as well as via email will be included on that published Q&A.
Great.
Thank you
Thanks
for the
everybody
info.
for your interest.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Have a good one. Bye.